Have you ever looked at the animal sharing your home and felt a presence that stills your mind, a moment of connection that seems to speak a language older than words? If you have felt this, understand that it is not by chance. You are sensing a profound shift, an awakening that flows not from a single prediction, but from the very currents of life itself. Ancient wisdom has always hinted at this, that in times of great change, we would be reminded of the deeper bonds connecting all beings. This wisdom speaks not of the future, but of a timeless truth that is now unfolding in our homes, in our communities, and across the world. From a space of deep awareness, we find that the animals who walk alongside us are evolving in their connection to us. And among all beings, the dog holds a unique place in this journey. An ancient teaching puts it this way: the four-legged guardians awaken as the world finds its new rhythm. They become living bridges between what is seen and what is felt. These are not just pets. They are compassionate companions, here to guide us back to the simplicity of unconditional presence. The laws of nature reveal that dogs are like spiritual tuning forks. They are beings capable of feeling energetic shifts, sensing what is needed, and bringing harmony through their quiet being. They carry a wisdom that humanity may have set aside, but that is now emerging at a pivotal moment in our shared story. What is most profound is that this gentle transformation is happening as we speak. It rises to meet the great challenges of our time, a world of rapid change, profound uncertainty, and a collective yearning for deeper meaning. Consider this perspective on three distinct currents of this canine awakening. The first current is the ability to sense imbalance and foster healing. The second involves a silent communion, a language understood from heart to heart. And the third, the most transformative, is their capacity to become anchors of stillness, able to pacify turbulent energies and support our own emotional healing. As the networks of our world connect every human mind, the dogs are quietly stepping into their true purpose. They are no longer simply companions. They have become our silent partners in the cultivation of a more conscious humanity. What makes this journey so deeply personal is the understanding that many of these beings enter our lives with intention. They are souls who have chosen this form to help us navigate our own transformation. They are ancient wisdom disguised as our most loyal friends. But this is not a story of a distant time. It is happening in this very moment. The signals are appearing all around us. Dogs sensing illness long before any diagnosis. Animals comforting their companions at the precise moment of need, even across distances. Beings that seem to calm the very air in a room filled with tension. Instances of near, telepathic connection between humans and their dogs. None of this is mere coincidence. It is the blossoming of a potential long held within our shared existence. The only question is, are you prepared to see the being that walks beside you for who they truly are? Because after you consider these insights, you will never view your four-legged companion in the same way again. The awakening has begun. And if you pay attention with an open heart, it is likely already unfolding within your own home. Ancient traditions speak of moments in time when profound shifts occur, where our animal companions take on a new significance in our human journey. The teachings describe it not as a singular event, but as a gradual unfolding. I see the guardians of the heart awakening. One such teaching shares. As the earth attunes to a new vibration, the dogs become conscious bridges between the realms, not merely as pets, but as masters in the art of pure love, sent to remind humanity of its own capacity for connection. This timeless wisdom outlines three distinct waves in this awakening. The first wave emerges as humanity itself begins a collective journey of looking inward. During this phase, dogs begin to manifest a powerful energetic sensitivity, a capacity for sensing imbalance and offering comfort that promotes healing. The second wave is even more profound. It is here that we witness a silent communion, a communication that transcends thought and word. They seem to know what we need emotionally before we are even aware of it ourselves, guided by an intelligence of the heart. The third and most transformative wave reveals these animals as anchors of stillness. They demonstrate a natural ability to pacify turbulent energies in homes, in healing spaces, and within people experiencing deep emotional release. This process can be described as a form of energetic alchemy, the simple power of their presence to transform distress into tranquility. What makes these teachings so powerful is that they are not abstract philosophies. For generations, dogs were viewed primarily through the lens of utility or work. The notion of them as spiritual or therapeutic allies was a quiet understanding, often dismissed by formal inquiry. This wisdom further illuminates how this transformation touches all dogs, regardless of their lineage. But it notes that animals who have been rescued or given a second chance often carry a particularly potent connection to this deeper purpose. It is as if the act of being embraced by love connects them more deeply to their mission to give it. Within these same teachings is a remarkable insight that many of the souls arriving in our families as dogs are in fact advanced beings. They have chosen to take on this physical form to support the evolution of human consciousness. They are pure awareness, living amongst us as household companions. But these traditions also carry a gentle reminder. Not all will be ready to perceive these changes. Many will view these remarkable behaviors as instinct or coincidence. But for those with an open heart and a quiet mind, an extraordinary partnership becomes possible. The most compelling aspect of this ancient wisdom is its timing. It suggested these signs would become clear when humanity faces periods of intense global challenge, deep transformation, and technological acceleration. This is the very landscape we are navigating today. If you share your life with a dog, you have likely sensed subtle shifts in their way of being. Perhaps they stay closer to you, become watchful before you arrive home, or show a heightened awareness of people and places. These are not random acts. They are the first ripples of a great wave of awakening happening right before our eyes. Around the world, those who dedicate their lives to animal well-being have begun to observe a fascinating pattern. Dogs that were once predictable are now demonstrating a level of intuition that defies simple explanation. Veterinarians are documenting widespread cases of what some call emotional resonance, an ability to sense their human's inner state before it becomes outwardly visible. One of the most moving examples is the story of a woman and her golden retriever. The dog began to act strangely each morning she prepared for her demanding job, physically blocking her path, whining, and refusing to move. She initially saw it as difficult behavior until she realized it only happened on days when her stress was highest. It was as if he knew I needed to stay and tend to my own well-being, she shared. On the days he insisted I remain, I always discovered I had avoided a major conflict or source of pain. I understood then that he was not being stubborn, he was protecting my peace. But these signals go far beyond emotional sensing. University researchers have begun to study the ability of dogs to detect illness with startling accuracy. This extends beyond known capacities into areas like metabolic imbalances, neurological events, and even states of deep sadness. Consider the case of a Labrador who began to obsessively nudge her human's arm for several weeks. He dismissed the behavior until the dog became more insistent, pawing at the same spot. A visit to a doctor revealed a small, early-stage growth precisely where the dog had focused its attention. Animal shelters also report profound shifts. Dogs once overlooked are now forming instant, powerful bonds with certain visitors. It appears as if they recognize precisely which person requires their steadfast companionship. A shelter coordinator shared, "We widely began to see that the dogs were choosing their families. They would walk directly to people going through immense life changes, loss, illness, separation. It was like they had a compass that pointed directly to a heart in need of unconditional love." Another visible sign is the significant increase in certified therapy dogs globally. While training is valuable, what is notable is that many of these dogs display innate therapeutic qualities long before formal instruction begins. Hospitals share accounts of visiting dogs, bypassing dozens of people to sit with patients at critical moments in their recovery. Medical staff have even started to see this canine intuition as an informal sign that a patient might need extra attention. Animal behavior centers also note that dogs are responding to natural phenomena with greater foresight. They seem to sense storms or seismic shifts not just hours, but sometimes days in advance. The most intriguing aspect of these early signs is their universal nature. It is not about breed or background. These qualities are emerging in all kinds of dogs, from those in city apartments to those on rural farms. It seems all are waking to a potential that lay dormant. And most remarkably, this is only the beginning. The signals we are seeing now are merely the first current of this awakening. What is unfolding next is even more extraordinary. Imagine returning home after a challenging day and feeling the weight of the world simply dissolve as your dog draws near. This is not just your imagination. It is the manifestation of an ability that is rapidly becoming more present, the capacity to act as living harmonizers of energy. Researchers exploring consciousness have dedicated years to documenting cases where dogs demonstrate abilities beyond conventional scientific frameworks. Their studies reveal that dogs across the globe are developing a remarkable sensitivity to both feel and soothe unsettled energies in their environments and in people. Consider the experience of a family who moved into an old house and began suffering from unease and troubled sleep. Their German shepherd, Max, started a peculiar routine. He would walk through the house each night, pausing at certain points to stand perfectly still for long moments. Max had his own ceremony. The mother explains. He would breathe deeply in specific spots, sometimes let out a soft whine, and then shake his whole body as if releasing something. After he completed his rounds, we could all rest peacefully. The family later consulted a specialist in home energetics who confirmed that these precise spots held dense, residual energy. After weeks of the dog's nightly ritual, both the specialist and the family felt the home's atmosphere had been completely transformed. Hospitals and wellness centers observe similar phenomena with therapy dogs. Staff report that certain dogs can identify rooms with heavy atmospheres, pausing at the door until the space feels clearer. When they do enter, the patients within those rooms often show marked improvements in their emotional state. Holistic practitioners have started to partner with these sensitive dogs. During sessions focused on emotional release, some dogs have shown an ability to physically absorb the energies being processed by clients. They may tremble, yawn deeply, or stretch as they transmute this energy and then return centered and calm. Homes that have witnessed grief or conflict report their dogs beginning spontaneous clearing behaviors. They systematically move through the space, lingering in areas where arguments occurred, resting for long periods as if absorbing and harmonizing the energetic residue. Some dogs have developed the ability to soothe negative energy through simple touch. Reports of people feeling an instant sense of calm after being touched by a specific dog have multiplied in recent years. It is not a casual touch. Many describe it as a conscious offering of peace. One story tells of a rescue dog named Amando. Whenever a visitor arrived at the house feeling sad or agitated, Amando would approach and gently place his paw on them. Every single person reported an immediate feeling of relief and inner quiet. He seems to have a built-in sensor for who needs balance, his human shares. He is never wrong, and people always leave our home looking lighter, more renewed. This spiritual unfolding is not limited to harmonizing energy. Many dogs are now developing a profound capacity to guard their homes and families from dissonant external influences. They appear to sense discordant intentions and create a field of tranquility around their homes. Social platforms are now filled with videos of dogs performing what seem to be impossible feats. Dogs appearing from nowhere to shield children from harm. Animals waking families just moments before a fire. Dogs locating lost people in situations that defy all logic. These are not isolated events. They are expressions of a deeper guardianship, a third wave of awakening that is growing all around us. A powerful account emerged in early 2023 from a small village. A young dog named Bea began to bark relentlessly in the night, scratching at her family's bedroom door. Annoyed, the family assumed she needed to go outside, but the dog ran directly to the room of their infant child. When the parents entered, they found their baby had stopped breathing. Doctors later confirmed that without the dog's urgent warning, the child would not have survived. Remarkably, Bea had never shown such protective behavior before. It was as if her guardian mission activated at the precise moment it was most needed. I invite you to share in the comments, has your own animal companion ever done something that left you speechless? An act of inexplicable guidance or protection? A director at a leading university center for animal-human interaction has collected similar stories for years. His research includes over 1,000 documented cases of dogs saving human lives in ways that our current science cannot yet fully explain. What we are seeing goes beyond conventional protective instinct. The researcher explains. These animals exhibit a kind of precognitive awareness. They seem to know something is about to occur before any physical signs are present. It is as though they have access to another stream of information. This phenomenon grows even deeper when we observe dogs protecting complete strangers. Last year, a German shepherd named Thor escaped his yard and ran several blocks to a construction site. There, he barked intensely at a group of workers, preventing them from entering a specific building zone. Just 20 minutes later, a concrete structure collapsed in the exact spot Thor had guarded. He had never left home alone, his owner recounted, and there was no logical reason for him to know of the danger. It was as if he was guided by a specific purpose in that moment. Now, imagine this. You think of returning home, and though you are miles away and on no fixed schedule, your dog is already waiting at the door. Or your animal appears at your side at the very moment a wave of sadness washes over you, even when you show no outward sign. This is not wishful thinking. It is the reality of silent, heart-centered communication unfolding between you and your dog. A pioneering biologist conducted one of the most extensive studies on this very topic. Over a decade, he gathered thousands of cases of dogs, demonstrating an ability to perceive their humans' intentions from afar. The findings challenge our entire understanding of how beings communicate. His most well-known experiment involved a small terrier named JT, who always knew the moment his human Pam was returning home. What makes this so remarkable is that Pam had an irregular work schedule and traveled by different means each day. Cameras in the home showed JT moving to the window to wait at the exact moment Pam made the decision to head home, not when she physically left her workplace, but at the very instant the thought to return formed in her mind. It didn't matter how she traveled or when she left. JT always knew the moment she formed the intention to come home. This silent communion is not limited to predicting arrivals. Dogs are now demonstrating an ability to respond to our quiet, focused thoughts. A dog trainer in Los Angeles developed a protocol to explore this. I began by simply asking owners to hold a clear mental image of a command while looking at their dogs, she shares. The results were remarkable. The dogs responded to thoughts like "come here," "rest now," or "bring the toy," with over a 70% success rate. The most humbling aspect of this communion is its ability to transcend physical distance. Military service members have shared stories of their dogs reacting to dangers faced on deployment thousands of miles away. One veteran recalled how his dog Princess, who remained in the US, would become deeply agitated and mournful on the exact same days he was engaged in life-threatening missions overseas. My wife began to chart the days Princess was inconsolable. When I returned, we compared it to my combat journal. The alignment was perfect. Neuroscientists are now exploring the mechanics behind this silent connection. Through simultaneous brain scans of humans and their dogs, they are discovering patterns of synchronization that suggest a form of non-local communication. We observe brain waves between dogs and their owners falling into the same rhythm, even when they are in separate, shielded rooms, explains a lead researcher. It is as though there is a shared field of awareness, allowing for the exchange of information without any conventional channel. This form of communication even appears in our dream states. Countless people report dreams where their dogs appear to offer specific comfort or gentle warnings about waking life situations. Have you ever wondered why these profound transformations are unfolding now? Why dogs all around the world seem to be simultaneously awakening to abilities that seemed like myth just a few decades ago? The answer is tied to something larger than the animals themselves. It is connected to a shift in the current of human consciousness. Ancient wisdom from many traditions speaks of this time. It teaches that our Earth would enter a new phase of its journey in this era, one marked by an acceleration of awareness. This period is described as a great awakening, where both humans and the beings who walk with us would develop dormant inner abilities to help navigate the immense changes of a planetary transition. As one teaching states, when humanity is called to face its greatest challenges, the four-legged guardians will awaken to guide and protect. They will serve as anchors of unconditional love in a turbulent sea. Contemporary researchers of human consciousness have developed models showing that our collective energetic field has undergone an unprecedented acceleration in recent decades. It is a leap from survival-based patterns to heart-centered awareness at a pace that is truly extraordinary. We are witnessing a real-time evolution of consciousness, one prominent researcher explains, and the animal kingdom, particularly dogs, is responding to this rising tide by activating qualities that connect them more deeply to the human experience. The timing is impossible to ignore. The first widespread reports of these unique canine abilities began to surface just as humanity entered one of its most challenging periods in modern history. It was as if dogs received a collective, silent call to begin their mission of spiritual companionship. Researchers at the HeartMath Institute have discovered that major global events generate measurable electromagnetic waves that affect the entire planet. These waves don't just influence humans, they seem to activate evolutionary responses in the animals most closely bonded with us. Dogs function as living antennae for these planetary energy shifts, explains the director of research. They are responding to frequencies that we are only now beginning to measure and understand. The global pandemic marked another significant turning point. All over the world, veterinarians reported an explosion of these sensitive behaviors in dogs. Animals who had never shown unusual abilities began displaying profound emotional intuition, offering healing presence, and even seeming to have premonitions. It felt as though the collective intensity of that time activated something that was dormant. One veterinarian from Spain shared, "In those 2 years, I received more reports of intuitive canine behaviors than in my entire previous career." This phenomenon is not limited to difficult events. Moments of global connection, such as collective meditations and worldwide movements for peace, also create energy waves that appear to amplify these canine abilities. During major astronomical events, research centers that monitor animals have documented spikes in intuitive and harmonizing behaviors in dogs around the world. Some theoretical physicists have begun to suggest that dogs may be accessing what is known as the collective morphogenetic field, a non-local network of information that connects all life. As humanity elevates its own frequency through challenge, growth, and inner work, dogs naturally attune to these higher vibrations. Dogs have always been sensitive to subtle energies, explains one physicist and author. But as human consciousness expands, they are now tapping into levels of information that allow them to function as bridges between dimensions of our reality. The digital age itself plays a role. The same technology that instantly connects human minds is creating a planetary electromagnetic field that may amplify the natural intuitive sensitivity of dogs. They are literally feeling the waves of information and emotion circling the globe. Spiritual centers report that their resident dogs display behaviors synchronized with global meditation events. During worldwide peace initiatives, These animals are observed entering spontaneous states of deep calm. Our dogs have become living barometers of planetary consciousness, shares a teacher at a Buddhist center. When humanity unites with positive intention, our animal companions respond instantly, radiating a peace that amplifies the collective field. Scholars of cosmic cycles point out that many ancient traditions spoke of our current time as an era of transition, a period when consciousness on the planet undergoes a fundamental shift. Dogs, as beings who are naturally attuned to the Earth's rhythms, are serving as gentle catalysts for this transition. They are the first to feel the new frequencies arriving, explains one astrologer. They are showing us the way toward a more telepathic, more empathic, and more energetically connected way of being. Our current environmental challenges have also seemed to activate a collective preservation instinct in these animals. They appear to understand, on a deep level, that their own unfolding is tied to the survival and evolution of humanity. Evolutionary biologists might call this accelerated symbiotic evolution. This is where two species evolve rapidly in response to external pressures, developing traits that mutually support their survival. Dogs are evolving to become our conscious partners. One biologist suggests they are developing precisely the skills we most need: intuition, healing presence, and unwavering emotional support to help us navigate this critical time. This awakening is not an isolated animal phenomenon. It is part of a much larger cosmic tapestry, preparing all beings for a new way of existing on this planet. Dogs appear to have chosen to step forward as our guides, our healers, and our protectors during this crucial transition. This is why so many of us have the feeling that our dogs chose us, that they arrived with a purpose, that they are so much more than just a pet, because they truly are. They are our conscious collaborators in one of the greatest transformations our world has ever known. This ancient wisdom was not just a story. It was a guide for a reality that is already here. As you listen to these words, millions of dogs across the planet are serving as living bridges, energetic healers, and spiritual guardians. The question is no longer if this is happening. The question is, how do you open yourself to this new reality? If you share your home with a dog, you must understand that they may be infinitely more than you have imagined. Recent observations suggest that a vast majority of domestic dogs exhibit at least one of these unique qualities, which we so often dismiss as coincidence. Learning to recognize and nurture these gifts can transform your connection and open channels of communication you never thought possible. The first step is simple observation. Notice the patterns in your dog's behavior that go beyond simple instinct. Does your dog appear at your side, just as a wave of sadness washes over you, even when you are in another room? Do they become restless before an unexpected visitor arrives? Do they show a focused interest in a specific part of your body that later proves to be an area of discomfort? These are not random acts. They are the expressions of an unfolding spiritual awareness. An expert in animal communication developed a simple practice for identifying these gifts. Observe if your dog responds to your thoughts before you speak. Silently call to them from another room. Notice if they react to your emotions even when you are trying to conceal them. These are clear indicators of an active, heart-centered communion. To nurture these abilities, create daily moments of conscious, silent connection. Simply sit with your dog for 10 minutes, hold a soft gaze, and send them your thoughts of gratitude and love. Many people who try this simple practice report a dramatic deepening of the silent communication with their companion. For those who do not yet have a dog, perhaps the invitation is to be open to recognizing when one of these special beings crosses your path. It is said that dogs on a spiritual mission often choose their families through beautiful synchronicities. They appear precisely when you need them most, or they arrive in your life through circumstances that feel like destiny. Entirely new fields of work are emerging to support this new reality. There are now facilitators of human, canine connection, trainers of telepathic skill, and therapists who work with human dog partners to support healing. Technology is also beginning to adapt. There are now apps to help track energetic synchronicity and platforms that connect people whose dogs share similar intuitive gifts. Your dog may well be one of the disguised masters of wisdom spoken of in ancient teachings, and you may be one of the souls chosen to be part of this transformation, a journey that is redefining what it means to be human on a planet where consciousness itself is evolving.